Do you think because these young guys are getting more money that they're less receptive to some criticism? I know you guys have said you worked with some good younger players and they've been asking you questions, but have you noticed a change in that with maybe other guys you've kind of seen throughout the league where you can't tell him nothing because he just signed for, you got 20 million or 30 million?
Yeah, you know, my problem, this is me speaking for me. You know what my problem is? Like all these guys that have an entitlement when it comes to certain shit, but you wouldn't know who fucking Horace Grant was. The knowledge of the game ain't there. And to me, that's what bothers me more so than anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, when I first came in the league, I could name every 90s team. I can name everybody who won the championship in the 90s, in the 80s. I can name, you know what I mean? I can name, like...
Name me all the names of the champions in the 90s. Man, I might not even know all the names. I know who Horace Grant is.
But you get my point, though.
Yeah. So with that being said, obviously, Anthony Edwards comes with the controversial statement about nobody was skilled other than Jordan back in the day. What's your takes on that?
My take is like, listen, Ant is one of my favorite players to watch.
Mine too.
By far. But even something like that, we never would have made no statement like that.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because regardless, at the end of the day, I respect every OG who ever played this game. This game was built on a foundation of taking steps of wherever it came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I never discredit wherever the league was at 20 years ago because it's all about, you know, elevating. You know, and granted, I only read the headlines of what he said. I don't know what context further he went into to further explain it. But if you look at it back then, it was, those guys still was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they still was. Like, you look at a guy like fucking Ron Strickland. He wasn't skilled.
Right.
No.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Was for sure.
Like, you can't tell me it wasn't no skillful guys around just because at the time you have such a phenom of a athletic freak in Michael Jordan. Don't discredit everybody else.
Right.
We had one of the best bigs that ever played this game, Hakeem Olajuwon, playing the 90s. That was
most skilled.
He had
big.
the most skilled big I done seen play in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, win back-to-back championships, MVPs, defensive players. Like it's so many of those. You look at even a fucking Scottie Pippen. Like, you see a Scottie Pippen like that today, you would think he a unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Guys
you know
like
what
Brent
I mean?
Berry jumping from the free throw line.
It's
My gosh, I don't see that today.
But it's like, my thing is like, I was trying to understand where he was coming from, but I know from my point of view, I would never discredit or undermine anybody who came before me because regardless, like, I watched fucking Alex English play. He wasn't fucking athletic. Like, he wasn't this, but I used to always watch his tape on him on how he got buckets, how he scored. Whether if it was simple or not, it was a skill that he had that he mastered. You know what I mean? You look at George Gervin, you don't see nobody shooting no finger rolls like him.
Right.
That's a skill that you cannot teach. And I feel like everybody had their own skill just because it wasn't to a Michael Jordan level. Don't discredit it. That's my only take to it.
We had my pops on last episode, and so this was the conversation we had. And my viewpoint, and not to put words in his mouth or not to try to explain what he was trying to say, I took it as he was just trying to relate MJ to how we move in today's game. You know what I mean? Like us being athletic and high flying and athletic maneuvering, acrobatic in the air. That's what I was hoping he was referring to without being able to explain everything that he meant to say about that situation. So hopefully I'm helping him in that.
Listen. We all got an opinion
because it was a bad take.
Yeah, I get it, but from my perspective, like I said, bro, I got Ant, my favorite player. I got his jersey this year. I ain't gonna lie, I asked for it. I don't give a shit. But my point of view
favorites.
is just like I would never undermine anybody who came before me because they built a foundation for us to be where we was at today.
Yeah.
Now imagine somebody 20 years from now saying, Edward, you ain't that athletic. You know what I mean? Or you wasn't as skilled as, you know what I mean? Let's hope the game get that far ahead. You know what I mean? We all got to start and finish somewhere.
Yeah, that will be interesting because it's funny. It's more so like he's not talking about your guys' group. He's talking about a little bit before your guys' time. And I think he gets away with some of this things that he says just because he's outside looking in. He just has that personality where it's like he doesn't have like a bad bone in his body.
No,
you know what I mean? He's just one of those dudes that says what he thinks and what he feels and with a
I don't
smile
think it's
on
no
his face.
malicious intent behind it at all. You know what I mean? But it's just like, you know, like that's why I said I just could never undermine nobody who come before me. You know what I mean?
PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 5 million members across the country, it is the most fun and exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. Right now, one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you one win on PrizePicks every week in the month of September. That's right, only one passing yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss the deal on PrizePicks because it's gone when September ends. Download the app today and use our promo code PODCASTP to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. So you can start the football season by downloading the app today and using our code PODCASTP to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your games.